The art of vaporwave can bring many emotions and thoughts to a viewer at first glance, whether it's nostalgia, a peace of mind, and maybe even questioning your world around you. This art form has been a staple on the internet for a really long time. But what about it makes us so attracted to it? Vaporwave comes in different forms. It can come in the form of music, which is a blend of synthwave and groovy beats, but the art form of it is really interesting. This aesthetic usually comes in the form of retro 90s imagery, early internet art, and sometimes cyberpunk visuals. It's kind of hard to explain in words, but if you see it for yourself, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. One thing that I know attracts me to this aesthetic is the nostalgic vibe. Some of these images trigger certain memories and emotions from my childhood, or it takes me back to a time where the world just felt simpler. I think this is one of the reasons why this art form has lasted for so long. We get lost in these sometimes fictional places that we get so attached to certain periods in our lifetimes. In today's day and age with advertising, architecture, and even the shows we watch, it feels like creativity has been lost, and everything around us is built in a more simplistic modern design. Comparing the designs of old restaurants and department stores, for example, the old Target store designs had neon lights around the store, and even had a food court to hang out in. The whole store used to smell like popcorn. Nowadays, stores are boring and dull in order to save money on everything. Even our favorite restaurants are suffering from the modern look. Taco Bell used to have a groovy interior with a much larger eating space. Restaurants have not only gotten smaller, but dull and boring. Are all these changes due to a new generation not giving a damn about creative designs in places? I personally don't think so, because if that were the case, then the internet wouldn't be so hung up on nostalgia. But in this new world of fast-paced content and shorter attention spans, it can be a reflection of the world around us. The fact that people move on from things quickly for something different could be the reason why the creativity around us no longer has to be made with detail. But when exactly did the creative shift actually start? There's some theories floating around online that during Reagan's presidency in the late 80s, he spoke about trickle-down economics or Reaganomics, which involved economic deregulation and cuts in both taxes and government spending. He made it seem that by the year 2000 or so, we would live in a self-sustaining utopia. But after the September 11th attacks and the 2008 recession, everything changed. We realized that a future like that just isn't possible. Some interpret vaporwave as a what-if art form. The utopia that was supposed to be lives on in this surreal art form. We know we can never live in these images, but the fantasy and desire for our world to reflect the art adds to the attraction. The surreal art not only adds to our desires, but can bring questions into our world. Before the internet became part of our daily lives, the 90s projected the new digital world to be a magical place filled with mysteries. As the analog era ended, and the internet became even bigger and more dangerous, people who lived in the analog era gravitate towards vaporwave because it takes us to that short period of time where the internet was still young and full of possibilities. But being so caught up in what the world could have been or living in our nostalgic memories can cause us to become unappreciative of the moment. Reminiscing to simpler times can cause us to feel lost, like we don't belong in the modern era. That's why aesthetics like vaporwave, dreamcore, and even synthwave are so popular. They fill the void that time has created, while adding a familiar feeling that makes us feel safe. Whether you're a fan of vaporwave or not, this aesthetic is here to stay and will continue to be a staple on the internet for a long time. Whatever emotion and thoughts it triggers in you, we can all agree that the desire to visit this utopian artwork would make for a peaceful yet surreal reality. Thanks for watching.